me every night. You say you missed the concept of you and I, you and I. You come and wake me every night. You say you missed the concept of you and I.
Saw a little slurp around here. There's a bit of bait about, and bang, salmon to start the morning on surface.
Catch my head in the earthquake, collect my spine when my disc breaks.
I've got 8 pound leader on at the moment because I was using this to try and target some whiting.
Catch my
this net.
Give me air.
Sure, it's ready.
Give me some peace, oh darling.
Find it out down low. So I've had a few jumps to start, and now he's just beating me down low. Oh, get your head up. Come on. Up you come. Oh, he's been eaten by something. There we go. Alright. Perfect start to the morning. Smack that dial with Slippery Dog. Absolutely hammered it. But yeah, very cool. Gonna try and release him. Not sure how well he's gonna release because he was gill hooked. Just gonna see the health of him and then make a choice. But yeah, good start to the morning.
Don't die. Give me tears so I can cry. And give me heart so I don't.
That was a cool start to the morning. Alright, only that one salmon out here. There's a lot of bait, or what we call like port hacking pilchards. So if you ever go out on the port hacking, you see like little tiny slurps and like what looks like tiny fish busting. That's the port hacking pilchards. So they've come into the system now, which is a really good thing to see. Small bait jigs, and you could be in for a really good session on them as bait. During the summer, I would call them the #1 bait here on the port hacking. I don't have a bait jig on me, nor do I have any of the gear to use to target a kingfish or a salmon or a big flathead like you would using those pilchards. So just going to keep driving around, seeing for little surface action, and I'm going to head to one more sand flat and then try some more surface on there. If not, going to go to some of the edges and use some soft plastics, target some flathead. Gear for today is the Daiwa Legala 702 ULFS, 1 to 2 kilo, perfect flats, sand whiting, targeting sort of rod. It's a 2000 crossfire reel, 6 pound braid, 8 pound leader. And then I've got the Daiwa Slippery Dog on as well in Adamite colour. An absolute killer here in the port hacking. The second setup I've got is the Daiwa RevRoz 702 LFS. This is a 2 to 5 kilo rod, a bit heavier. I really like targeting flathead using this one, a bit heavier, so if you do get onto a decent sized flathead, you have got a little bit more strength in the butt section, but also the taper of it is quite light, so you can cast surface walker style soft plastic hard bodies as well, as long as some decent size soft plastics. So I'm going to rig this up eventually. The plan is to obviously try and get a few fish on surface first, but yeah, if we head to the edges, this is the setup I'm going to be using. Yeah. It's a bloody good one. It's a good floodie. Keep his head underwater. The lure's on the outside of his mouth, which is a really good sign. Yes, that's the first flathead of the morning. Woo. Happy with that. 43, perfect dusky flathead and perfect eating size. Obviously going to keep this one. But yeah, smack the Daiwa 2.35 inch prawn, soft plastic, straight down the gullet. Missed one just before and just kept fishing this edge, run out tide. You can't beat it, and bang, this guy come along. So hopefully we get a few more, hey? Alright, something you guys always need to do after catching a flathead is checking your leader, particularly checking probably the first 30 to 50 centimeters of your leader to make sure there's no nicks, cuts, or anything like that on your leader. And there was on mine, so what I've done is just quickly cut it above the nick, tying a quick loop knot. Loop knot is always the knot that I choose to use for soft plastics, and yeah, head back fishing. And if you don't know how to tie a loop knot, I've got a video on tying the loop knot, FG knot, and also how to tie a paternoster rig, all on my channel, so you can head over there and have a look at that. Alright, so the scenario we've got here for flathead is a pretty classic scenario for flathead. Like, we got a run out tide, we've got a sand flat right in front of me that is dropping off to an edge, and I'm sitting in about 2.5 to 2 meters, and where I'm casting is about 1/2 meter, and all I'm doing is working the soft plastic down that edge with a double flick. So cast out as far as I can towards the edge. I've got the motor just pushing us along just slightly. Hits the bottom, double flick, watch the line, wait for a bite, hit the bottom again, double flick, wait for it to hit the bottom again, double flick. It's going to hit the bottom pretty quickly. I've got a 1/8 jig head on, 1/8 10 on this prawn soft plastic. The reason why I've gone for a bigger of a hook is because flathead do have a big mouth, and I want that hook to be penetrating in the corner of their jaw, and having that bigger hook often will cause that to happen. So we're just going to keep working this edge here, seeing if we can keep finding some more flathead and work all of these flats along these edges all the way to the bottom of the tide. Oh! Come back. Damn it. Can't catch them all. You gotta keep trying. Yep, there we go. It's another flathead. Oh. Hooks again outside of his mouth. It's perfect. That's just what we want. We want to keep his head below the water surface. Oh, not the greatest net job in the world, but he's in. Whew. It's another good flathead. All right, another good size flathead. 41 to meet with that 43. Two very nice eating size flathead. Can't beat it. Smacks again the Daiwa prawn soft plastic. Engulfed on that drop off on the edge. And he actually even spat out a little fish. Tiny little snapper, like tiny. Spat out a tiny little snapper there. They're cool. So we could quickly deal with this fish. Keep it along with the other flathead. That's two really good flathead. Perfect for a feed there. That's enough for a feed for us. And yeah, keep fishing. Keep seeing if we can get a few more. So a few questions I get asked about fishing with soft plastics, particularly targeting flathead and stuff like that, is around the electric motor and how I use it. So what we've got right now is a run out tide. And what you want to be doing is poking your head into the tide. Okay, so you don't want to go with it, you kind of want to go against it. So the tide, this is the front of the boat that I'm pointing at right now, and the tide is pushing right down behind me. And I'm pushing my boat very slowly into the tide and casting in the same direction that my boat is going. So I'm casting up current of the tide, because the flathead are going to be sitting with their head into the current, similar to the way the boat is positioned right now. And I'm casting it over their heads, working it back past them. You don't want to cast it the other way, where you're casting it behind them and bringing it over their heads. They'll often get spooked because obviously you'll hit them in the tail, or they'll feel it behind them. They'll think it's a piece of prey that's going to come and eat them, so they'll often swim away. They're ambush feeding, so they're waiting for the bait to come over them. They want it in front of them. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to present my lure in front of them based upon the tide. Now, if it was a run-in tide, it would be the complete opposite. I'd be up on the flat, casting over the edge and working it up the bank. But because it is a run-out tide, and that's the best tide to be targeting flathead, I'm working the drop off. So I'm casting to the shallow and working it down. Most of the time I'll have my electric motor set on 2, which is about 1 to 1.5 kilometers an hour. It's quick enough to get up and down the bank, but not too slow where I'm not moving enough, but it's not too fast where I'm moving too much. You need to find the balance. You never want to cast in the same spot. Every cast should be on a new piece of ground. And then if you can pick that with the right speed, you should be right. Get across quickly before this guy runs right across my fishing ground. Yeah, next cast. Literally next cast, that one. Another flathead, next cast. Head under the water. Yep. Oh no. No. Oh. It flicked out of the net. That's a good one. That's another good one. Oh, number 2. Literally moved back to the same spot, moved across, and bang. Another flathead, 43 this time. I've got 2 already in the tank, so I've got enough for a feed. I'm going to put this one back. But yeah, so cool. Right in the corner of the draw. Dial prawns 2.35 inch. Smacked. Absolutely smacked. Woo. Happy with that. Now you can do this land-based as well. You don't have to have a boat and electric motor and all the fancy gear and all that sort of stuff. I used to do it land-based for years before I got a boat. You just got to pick the right areas. Now, to target flathead on a sandbank, obviously go and find the sandbanks like here in the Port Hacking where I am right now. This is an accessible bank at low tide. You can go walk this bank and walk the edges at low tide. So you don't have to have a flash boat. You don't have to have a lot of stuff to be able to do this. You can have the bare basics, a pretty basic rod and reel, some line, make sure you tie an FG knot to your leader, loop knot to your jig head and soft plastic, and for under $200, you probably could be well on your way to catching some fish with soft plastics. Yep. Nothing to write home about. Little whiting. Tiny little sand whiting come along and just smack the prawn. The prawn is in the corner of his jaw, look at that. He smacked it. He wanted it. A little tiny fella, but he wanted it. So, anyway, we'll put him back. See you, little man. Seven Seas Apparel has been on board with reel fishing for many years, and they are one of the best apparel brands you can ever go. The code REELFISHING10 will save yourself off 10% anything in the Seven Seas Apparel range. Don't forget to go follow them on Instagram where they update all the new stuff that are coming out on their website. But today, I'm wearing the Seven Seas Apparel fishing jersey. It is SPF proof, so all the way, this nice long sleever is very breathable, but also will protect me from the sun. So all I need to worry about is protecting my face, my hands, and my legs. Makes it so much easier. Takes me 30 seconds to quickly slap on a bit of sunscreen and be protected from the sun. This jersey changes everything in regards to fishing. And don't forget, use code REALFISHING10 to save yourself 10% off anything in their 7 Seas apparel range. All right, so if you haven't heard already, but Salty Captain has joined the Real Fishing crew, and I've got a special deal for you all in regards to Salty Captain. If you use code REALFISHING15, that's REALFISHING15, you'll get 15% off anything Salty Captain. I personally use the salt wash and the engine flush system every time I go out fishing, and it saved me hundreds of dollars in mechanical bills with the engine flush, and a really simple and easy system to be able to wash the boat super quick. Means I'm out off the water, back home to the family in even quicker time. All right, well, that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. Nice, cool top water salmon to start the day, but the majority of today was about that run out tide and targeting that flathead. You cannot beat the run out tide, and it's particularly the back half of that running tide. You cannot beat it for targeting flathead on soft plastics. It's such a cool thing. Whether you're land-based or on the boat, it's probably one of the easiest fish to be able to target, and probably one of the first fish you'll ever catch on soft plastics, whether you're an experienced angler or the beginner. Hope you all enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. What would you like me to show you next? What technique, style, anything to do with lure fishing? Comment down below. It'd be great to hear from you guys. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.